Welcome to Educational and Professional Practices. The conversation here is about the role of the teacher aide, the world's most amazing teacher's aide. So what does a teacher aide do? What is it you imagine or have seen teacher aides doing? Photocopying? Perhaps making resources? Laminating? Or on playground duty supervising students? Or putting out home readers ready for students to take home? More often you have seen them working beside students in the classroom, instructing students on how to behave as they move from classroom to library, or supporting a student who identifiably has a disability. Whatever you think they do, let's double that. No, let's triple that list of tasks. What is important to know is what are the responsibilities of the teacher aide and what are not. What are the responsibilities of others in the school, particularly teachers? There can be a very clear delineation between the job roles. These can depend on the attitudes of principals and teachers and on the experience of the teacher aide. Whatever these responsibilities within a school, there are very clear job roles as defined in job role descriptions. Where do I find this information? Well, there are 3 levels within the teacher aide classification. You can see them listed there: TA002, TA003, TA004, and you will often find a job role description for an integration aide who supports students with disabilities. And where would you find these job role descriptions? Well, you're likely to find them on department or private school sites. So, let's take a look at the difference between these 2 key educator roles. Our first comparison is looking at the curriculum. And you would be right. The key responsibility for curriculum planning and delivery sits with the classroom teacher. The daily schedule and classroom routines are also their responsibility. The teacher aide's role supports the delivery of the curriculum, and that might be preparing resources and assisting with that scheduled classroom routine. So these can differ from school to school and may take into account years of experience and climate or focus on teamwork. Behaviour. The establishing behaviour expectations and the implementation of behaviour management strategies sit with the classroom teacher. The teacher aide's role is supporting those strategies and behaviour expectations, supporting behaviour management concerns, and reporting behaviour concerns to the teacher. The teacher aide role is more about behaviour support rather than management, as we want students to self-regulate and self-manage their own behaviour eventually. They will grow to be adults who need to learn skills to manage their own behaviour, just like you and I. These behaviour support strategies used depend on the age of the student. They depend on establishing what's appropriate and what's not. Consistency is important here. And it also depends on the policies. Regardless of whether you're a teacher or a teacher aide, the school has procedures to be followed. Assessment. So the assessment of students and the documentation of student progress, once again, very clearly is the responsibility of the classroom teacher. And the teacher aide is assisting the teacher in the student assessment and documentation, and of course under the direction of the teacher. There are 4 main places documentation of student progress goes. The first is to the teacher. The second is to parents via the teacher. The third is to other staff who work with the student. And the fourth, directly to the student, delivered in positive terms by the teacher aide. At this point we come to communication with parents or primary caregivers. And this responsibility sits with the classroom teacher. So do teacher aides talk to parents or carers? If the question relates to a student's progress on an incident or academic, physical, social, emotional or behavioural progress, a teacher aide would refer the parent or the caregiver directly to the teacher or to the specialist if the student is under a paraprofessional. If the inquiry is related to general topics, such as resources required for school activities, the pick-up or drop-off times for an excursion, a lost lunchbox, picking up a homework pack, then the teacher aide could provide these details to the parent or carer. There is a very clear line. If it's developmental, academic or behavioural, then it's the teacher. Now when it comes to working with specialists, the classroom teacher will liaise with support services and paraprofessionals. But what if the teacher aide isn't sure what the teacher or specialist wants them to do? Well, in that case, ask. A teacher aide can ask for clarification to ensure that the teachers and the specialists' directions are clearly understood. So following directions, advice and programs of student support services and professionals is the role of the teacher aide. While student well-being is a responsibility for all staff, teacher aides do a lot to support the well-being of students. They have a great impact on health, safety and well-being because they work intensely with one-on-one with students or small groups. They can offer a lot of time with a few, whereas the teacher often can only offer a little bit of time with a lot because their job role is ensuring the health and safety and well-being of all students. And the teacher aide is offering support when they supervise students under the direction of the teacher. Now, when it comes to occupational health and safety, as you can see from this slide, the responsibilities lie equally between classroom teacher and the role of the teacher aide. Compliance with occupational health and safety, compliance with school policies and procedures. Here again, the role of the teacher aide is to guide students to make the right choices and for the teacher aide to uphold a duty of care. Now, some good differences here under task management. Managing the day-to-day work of the teaching assistant or teacher aide is the role of the classroom teacher. However, the role of the teacher aide is to manage their time to ensure all roles and tasks are completed as required and when required. There are only a certain number of hours in the day. To fit in the tasks that you're required to do. So what order you put them in and why can be extremely important. These can be under the pump, especially at peak times, such as beginning of the year, end of the year, approaching school holidays, when there's a large event being planned on the school campus. So a teacher aide has to be very good at prioritising and managing their time. Resources. Resources are developed in consultation with a teacher and or a specialist. A teacher aide can design, prepare, maintain and use resources to support students. Finding resources, preparing them, setting them up in the classroom and or packing them away forms a large part of the teacher aide role. You might prepare games worksheets, posters, or individual resources to support students with additional and or students with disabilities. So do teacher aides teach students? Well, the answer in the book would be no. But the simple answer is teacher aides are imperative to student learning. They are required to be part of the facilitation of student learning day to day, over the week and over the term. This requires a basket full of strategies. You can have 10 students use the same strategies and it won't work on 3 of the students because everyone learns differently. You must understand what you were doing and why you were doing it, as there are small windows of opportunity for learning in the day-to-day schedules of a school environment. You need to know the goal and objective. If you can take 5 students for reading, you may need to adapt your support strategies for each, provide feedback about resources to the teacher and the progress of the students, as well as manage the behaviour engagement of the students with the learning tasks. However, it gets easier with practice. So let's reiterate. A teacher aide's role is to support and assist the teachers and specialists by following their directions. Teacher aides contribute to planning, preparation, implementation of every educational program. And on the last slide here, we've got a number of points that summarise the role of the teacher aide. And we'd have to say that the role is very diverse. It's good if you have a working knowledge about a number of things. Build up your repertoire, learn off others, go to any professional development opportunity. You need to have a good knowledge of child development and learning styles because you'll be working with students with a wide range of needs. So you can see the role of the teacher aide is important. We'll follow up this PowerPoint with some discussions about what you have seen teacher aides doing and the kinds of tasks that you've been involved with on your field placement. Thank you for listening.